filled out based on the information they've gotten in, and they're going to send you your tax, your whatever your 1040 or whatever you do, 1040, and then they're going to say this is what you owe or this is what you get back, because they're going to do it based on what they've gotten in. So that, which means they're probably going to disallow all of the deductions and all these things, so that they're just going to send it to you. I'm hoping that that's a fraudulent thing that was told to me.
Everything they're doing is fraudulent. They are illegally occupying the territory of the false pretenses. That make every contract that they ever sign void, because it's a constructed fraud. That's why they don't never honor none of their treaties. If you ask this Grand Sheik, if you say, Taj, why they don't honor none of their treaties, he'd probably be like, I don't know. They just evil like that. No, they don't honor the treaties because they never made them with the people from the land in the first place.
That's the part, because who knew, that they were making deals with folks that look like us that were not us.
No, the people that look like us brought $5 Indians over here,
and they made it with them, and they're the ones they made the contracts with. So that's why that group was recently able to get that land in was it Colorado? Where was it?
All that smoke and mirrors.
Oh, so it really isn't what.
Look, those $5 Indians, when they got over here, they came as the indentured servants. They were originally prisoners of war from the Mongol Empire war with the Romans and the Huns wars with the Romans, where they was taking slaves as spoils of war. They also brought some that come from what we called Hindustan, and they brought them over here. And this is the group we see doing all our rituals. The question is, how did they learn our rituals?
What rituals are those?
All of the dances, the things to do with the feathers, the peyote ceremonies.
Oh, okay.
Our rituals.
And they have the powwows. Those folks having the
yeah.
Okay.
But all that's our stuff. So when they was on the Trail of Tears, they was kicking the ones that looked like me and you off in the southern states. And the ones that they brought over here that passed off as Dawes Road's $5 Indians, they marched them onto reservations. And them the ones they wrote the treaties with, so they can make us believe that we came from somewhere else. And none of our ancestors signed treaties with them. We didn't believe in that. We didn't believe in their style of contract law. We believed in a man say what he gonna do, and that's what he do, and he shake hands on it, and that's bounding before man and God. They needed the paperwork in order to keep us constantly recontracting with them with paperwork. That's why anything that you file with the system, whether you put them on notice, if you send them a legal form to put them on notice, you just made an adhesion contract recognizing their superior jurisdiction.
Can you repeat that, please? I heard what you said, but can you say that again, please?
Yeah. Anytime you file paperwork with them, any kind of legal forms, even if it's putting them on notice, you are agreeing to their superior jurisdiction over you in status. Nobody that is organic to the land, right, need to file any paperwork with anybody on the land because they from here. You organic to the land. You before a Native American. You before an Indian. You before all that shit. You before the Moors. But they don't want you to know it. So they scrambled this egg up in legalese. It's all tied up in the legalese, in the application of the law. And this is what Ty's been telling them for the longest. If you don't understand these legal terms, you wasting your time. How many times you heard him say that?
Yeah. You're right about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that folks are trying to do things to at least make the declaration. But what you're saying is you don't have a problem with the proclamation of one.
You're supposed to do it under our culture. It's done orally, and it's done in the public domain in an archivable format. Years ago, before the invaders came, when we had a public declaration to make, we used to have somebody called the city or the town clerk read it in the town square.
Yeah, they would have, but they would read.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because that's who you went to. That's what their job was, is to put in the public domain your declaration. That's why they used to read off childbirths. Such and such and such and such. Chief Littlehorn was born to so and so and such on this day and at this time, right? Mm-hmm. And that's letting everybody know of the new births that's taking place in the community. And it's keeping the community tight knit. This is all under the matriarchy.
Speak about that, because we talked about that too. That, you know, one of the big issues, and even Prophet Noble Drew Ali spoke about it. You know, when you look at the question, you know, the 101s, there you have him with, you know, the woman who's in, I don't know whether she's asleep or unconscious or what, but humanity's written on her womb, and it's going to take the matriarchy to be restored to its rightful place in order to do what needs to be done. But we see all these things rising up. They're very patriarchal, even from our so-called people.
Yeah.
Speak on that, please.
So the whole purpose of the patriarchy was to restrict our family ties and to minimize the bloodline. They was trying to kill us off. You got to remember that. If you ever let it out, when you're doing the research, if you ever let it out your mind that they all this mean that all of these things go with them killing us off on the land. Right? So they couldn't understand why the harder they press us, the faster we proliferate. Right? And if they try to take their foot off our neck, the faster we rise up in all fields of science, government, economics, entertainment, everything else. If they take their foot off our neck, we start rising in those aspects. So now they didn't know what to do. They can't keep us down because we propagate. When you oppress us, we start having babies like rabbits. But when you take the oppression off us and start taking your foot off our neck, then we start having the smaller families, 1 and 2 kids, because we're so busy excelling in whatever part of your society you say we can't conquer. Mm-hmm. Just to show you we can conquer it.
And then the latest agenda is that, you know, that trans, you know, that.
Right, that's to underline the males. The masculine is not fit to rule if he's been anally penetrated.
So a lot of their rituals in the music industry and the entertainment industry includes that happening.
Yeah, they sodomize them so that they're not fit to rule. That way, if they ever get the following to rule, they're going to end up having a heart attack or a stroke from the spirit side because they root chakra has been shattered. It's called a shattered oracle ritual that they're doing. It's a sex ritual, and it's out of the Babylonian sex magic.
Wow. Everything
they doing in this government is designed to make me and you think we came over on a ship. That's it. Ain't no further addition or subtraction than that's the bottom line. As long as we think we came on ships and we not from over here, we will never reclaim what's rightfully ours.
But let me back up a little bit. Yes, we didn't come over on ships, but people that look like us are everywhere
globally
on the planet. I know when I used to read the Bible, I used to think in terms of where, because I didn't know anything about being a Moor, but where did people like me or United States at the time, where did we figure into this Bible story and into this
we don't
prophecy? Yeah, well, that's what I mean, these prophecies and so forth. And so now that I know what I know, I'm thinking that while some things were going on or some things were being created as if they had going on, there were people who lived in other parts, hence where we are now, who were here, had been here, and that the narrative was created, that the biblical narrative and even the so-called maybe Jewish and Islamic, some of those were created. I call them sort of 3 levels of catch-all. If we can't get you in this one, we'll get you in that one. If we don't get you in this one, because we created them all from the same pot or the same.
Well, Christianity was created before Judaism.
Okay, but it was written. They wrote it as if in the book, as if it
because they wrote Judaism to give Christianity a backstory.
Okay, well, we would say when I was in Bible college, they would say the Old Testament is the New Testament concealed, and the New Testament is the Old Testament revealed, or something like that. That's what they would say. And then there was this period in between they called 400 silent years when they said God didn't speak. But what I've surmised since then is that those were years when the I don't know what family it was, the Piso family and so forth, and their generations were actually crafting the narrative and making these, trying to make these books be, to coincide and balance.
You ever heard of a Maccabees Bible?
I've heard of Maccabees, yes.
Okay, that's the Catholic Bible. It's 14 books between Malachi and Matthew.
The Apocryphal.
Right. That's what they call them. Now, Apocryphal means hidden.
Right.
When Martin Luther rebelled, in order for them to paint the narrative they want to, that there was 400 years between Malachi and Matthew, they had to take out those other books.
Okay.
Right. When you look, it's 14 of them. But when they was putting the original manuscript together, they was doing that in Nicaea.
Okay, in the 325 AD.
Right. Under Constantine.
Right.
Right. While they was putting that together, they had grabbed what we call priests from varying different backgrounds to consolidate the text and form what they call the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The Bible now has 66 books, but under the Catholics, it has 80. Right. So that's showing you right there that even the Christians don't agree with Christianity. But they want us to fall for it hook, line, and sinker.
Absolutely.
They mistranslate words and terms on purpose to confuse the reader into following the narrative that they paint. This is the dogma aspect of the morals and dogma.
Mm.
Right? So they first created Christianity for Rome to conquer the world. But when there were certain groups of people that didn't accept Christianity, they infiltrated their culture and attached it to the church. Example, the Quran of the Muslims, the Al-Quran, is got chapters to Mary, chapters to Isa, right?
Right.
It was written by Muhammad, supposed to have been an Arab prophet. And his counselors were all Catholic priests. Khadijah, his first wife, was a high-ranking Catholic nun. So his influence for Islam, it even tell him in the Quran and say, if you have any doubt, O Muhammad, in what we speak, consult the scholars from the scriptures of old. Talking about the Bible. In other words, go ask your uncle Waraka, who wear this motherfucking father tie, if we telling you the story the way we want it told. But what they don't tell us is the whole narrative came out of a story that took place in Greece. Right? Where the three elders went to the servant, the faithful servant, in the garden or in the swinging gardens to impart upon him the knowledge. It's the same story. It's the same story as the three wise men. It's the three kings conjure.
Right.
Because before you raise the patriarchy, you got to have the three kings as the openers of the way.
Speaking of the three kings, from my conversations with you, I may be wrong in my what I've surmised, but the three kings are a group, are I want to say from spiritual, if you will. They come in different dispensations.
Yeah.
And at this time, the kings have been held, so to speak. The current incarnation of kings are ones who have been given a really, I guess, negative, press and
right.
And
so that's all. Remember COINTELPRO.
Mm-hmm.
Stop the rise of any potential messiah who could incite the masses. Right? And they have a list in CIA documents and FBI documents of who these leaders was that they was concerned could incite the masses. Chicago, they took out at least 400 of our leaders from the land that had the potential to lead us out of this condition. Most of them they murdered, but the ones...
Would these be like the so-called gang wars we thought?
Yeah. So they telling us it's gang wars, but none of the gang leaders is at war.
Mm-hmm.
But they put their kids in there with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they kids don't act like our kids.
Well, our children. But we're not gonna call them kids because those are baby goats. But I know what you mean. They put them together, but they've given them the narrative that we are at war, right? Is that why they're no? I've been told by some, that live in Chicago that there were times and some OGs when there would be open rail cars on the tracks with guns and ammunition, or in alleys, guns and ammunition were like left there for them to, and then they get knowledge that it's there, like, yeah, so and so, and a lot of what they got because it was put there.
Absolutely. The same in LA. Right. They have right now, they be hitting the freights. That's what they call it, hitting the freights.
Mm-hmm.
They hit the freights. They're supposed to get stuff like TVs, radios, clothes. Now you hitting the freights and you're getting AK-47s, MAC-10s, 45s, 380s. You're getting Glock, Beretta. You're getting a smorgasbord of firearms.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make them. So how is they getting into the hood? Somebody bringing them in there, and it ain't us, because we ain't making them.
Mm-hmm.
They telling us gun control. They telling us that the right to bear arms is for the purposes of going hunting, for recreational purposes. But that's not what the founding fathers of the so-called country said. They said that the right to bear arms was so that anytime this government goes astray from the principles of the Constitution, that the citizen have a right to take up arms and replace the government. And they don't want you to know that, though.
Nothing just to bear arms for just any old dispute. You stepped on my lawn and I didn't get your...
It's specifically targeting government.
They don't say that.
It's in the Constitution. Matter of fact, in the Declaration of Independence, it tell you that at any time that the people become disenfranchised with the government, it is the duty of the people to take up arms and replace the government in a well-formed coup. It's right in the documents. But we don't have to use a military coup. All we have to do is claim our birthright, and that put us in control of all government, military, political, and economic events taking place on the land. Right? So we need to be able to call the three chiefs. What is their purpose? Right? So they had to form clans. We have to form clans. We have to reform the family across common bonds. They called it we was ganging. We was gang banging. Gang mean clan. So we was formulating clans. They was infiltrating the clans. And they was starting the wars between two clans who was formerly at peace. Right? So, like, for instance, I'm going to give you an example. This is well known in California after the Rodney King riots in 91. And the Bloods and Crips had something that they called the truth, where they tied their rags together. And the OGs said, we're going to stop killing each other and we're going to focus on this government. Within a week, they started having drive-bys while you got Bloods visiting Crips. You got some strange Bloods trying to shoot up a Crip neighborhood. The Bloods telling them ain't us. They calling our set out, but we all here. So they end up shooting the cars up, find out they undercover police and FBI agents. So they've been turning us against each other the whole time, and we didn't even know it. And the motherfuckers behind it look like us. And we didn't even know it. That's my feelings got hurt the worst out of all of this shit that we've been through. And when I found out that the white man ain't white, and the people behind the dirt is dirty Moors, and they lying to the good Moors, but the good Moors is doing their and they cast lots for the garment The people weren't allowed to roam the free land. So you see Christ's crucifixion, feet nailed. All these things are legendary myths. And so you see us as we trying to see the riddle of life, and you go through the internalizing of the icon or the hero in the whole spirit of that hero in order to see from somebody else's eyes what they're looking at in order to find the key. Now, in the course of this, I have to learn how to read the signs through broken mirrors. It's called the shattered mirror effect. So all of these signs are scattered throughout my life, and I have to put life together and form a family bond. This was the instructions that we had if we want to get out of here. How you doing, Juanita? From today, and kind of like touch on a couple of things. Today, a shyster was trying to get me to send him $700 for a $70,000 payout. Right? He wanted me to send him $700 for a $7,000 payout. That gets my attention because the sevens is my number. What do this mean? So now I got to figure out what it means. So while I'm going through here, getting ready to pull my page up, and show y'all a couple of things. So that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. So now I got to go through all this, and I got to tie a couple of things in order. Finally, I get to reveal Isis, right? The Queen of Heaven and Earth as God. The Pope being on their seat. Now, there's one thing left. I got to restore the Caliphate. In Islam, I have to restore the Caliphate. That's going to be a task. Because the Quran that they have is not the Quran that was left to them. And when the patriarchs took over the Vatican and they destroyed all of the Hafiz, they killed all the Hafiz and burnt all of the legitimate copies of the Quran they could find except for the one they kept for archive in the Vatican. They replaced it with a book out of Rome and even the legends surrounding that after Muhammad, when they tried to destroy what they called the Ahlul Bayt, the family of the house. Now, what y'all not paying attention to is Muhammad had no wealth until he married Khadijah. She had joined the monastery of the Catholic Church and had gave her wealth to the church, but the church wanted to control Islam, so they gave her wealth back and told her to go marry Muhammad. That's matriarchal. So Khadijah was the Black Madonna that the Pope supplanted. When he pushed her out of the Catholic Church in the Madonna seat, then Mother Khadijah was moved. Right? So, in order for her to be protected, Muhammad commissioned what we know today under the tents of Qadar as the Sharif. They were supposed to be guardians of the righteous. Now, how can I get y'all to understand who Khadijah is? Right? This is the mother of the faithful in Islam, is what she's called, the mother of the faithful. Now, y'all got to pay attention because we have to put the Madonna back in her seat. Now, Isis is referred to as Mary because the term Mary means rebellious woman. So in Islam, what took place was this. When they got Khadijah to marry Muhammad, Muhammad, through the family of the house, her house, swore to guard and protect the family of the house, the holy blood, the queen seat or the high priestess seat of heaven and earth, Mother Khadijah. Now, I have to tie this back. I have to tie this back to Maryam. I got to tie this back to Mariama. This is Mosque Mariama in Chicago.
Fruit on deck. So this is Mas Mariama in Chicago. Because in Islam, Mary is called Mariama. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to go to that. Because Mother Khadijah of the Nation of Islam is Queen Mother Isis. She is to be restored as Caliphate, the mother of the righteous and the mother of the faithful. This is the return of the ancient ones. This is the restoration of the glory seat. Farrakhan, I told you, this is where you see her on her throne. Khadijah is the mother of the faithful. Look it up. All of them gave me the clues. Betsy Ross was her slave name. Who made the American flag? That was just a key. That was just a key. Because the flag story does not add up. It's an incongruency there. So that means that there's something else there. So her name was Betsy Ross as the cloak. That was the disguise to let me know how to find Isis, the queen of heaven and earth. Now we got another problem here. We got another problem. Because if she's over here, who the fuck is that over there? Now, everybody that already said Francis was the imposter. Now I told y'all it was some foul shit going on. Right? Now I showed y'all already. Everybody know what's going on. This is not haphazard. So, in the quest to restore balance back to earth, under the orders of Mott, by the evidence provided by the CASHAPP, Mother Khadijah is the Queen Isis, the mother, the queen of heaven and earth. I am the widow's son. I am crown prince of heaven and earth. Now, I'm going to walk you through some signs. I am the self-raised master, the master of masters. And everything I have shown you has proven this. But there's one thing that you got to understand. Because if you don't know who God is, you're about to find out. The black stone. The black stone, I told you what it was. Now we're finna show you what it is. Now, remember when we went yesterday, we went over the 5% information. And I showed you the Melanica, the Palace of the Rising Sun. We went over the Vesica Pisces. And the Vesica Pisces being the identifier, right? The Vesica Pisces being the identifier. So now, when we go up and we look at the Kaaba, now remember, it's a circle and a square, right? The builders built the box to house the mother, Alat. I'm about to lay it out for y'all now. Because if y'all sitting here thinking God is a man, are you insane? God cannot be a man. The Black Madonna returns. Francis, you gotta go. I'm finna show my people. I got everybody tied together in this. Everybody tied together in this. So let's go. We finna go do. This is the Kaaba. This is the Kaaba of Mecca. Right here. Right? Now, look. This is white. This is black. This is gold. Got it? White, black, and gold. So those are the colors. Right? Now, you can't see the black stone on there. But this is the black box. This is Pandora's box. Now, I had to get a replica. Now remember, I opened that earlier and told y'all about Pandora's box. Now, in my post, I identified the three kings. Malik Shabazz. Right? Malik means king in Arabic. But it also means angel. That was supposed to be Wallace Muhammad, but he got cold feet. He got cold feet. So Elijah had to call Malcolm down there to be the scapegoat. He had to run the red herring in order to protect the throne. In order to protect the throne of heaven. Right? So now, in order to protect the throne of heaven, a lot of people made a lot of sacrifices. But this was Pandora's box. This was the black box. So this was the cover I had to open, Pandora's box. So now, the story of Pandora opening her box, she couldn't close it once it was open. I bust these motherfuckers in their shit. Once it was open, you can't close it. Now, let's go. They said that the black stone is the stone to build the rejected, the chief cornerstone. Now, everybody was looking for a man. Now, I want y'all to look careful. Any woman can tell me this is not a vulva. This is not a vagina. Is this a vagina? Do I got anybody that say this is not a vagina? Now we looking at the black dot as Dr. Richard King identified the black dot. Right? But look, remember, because you got to get Baphomet out of there. I'm not making this shit up. I didn't post none of this. You see him in there, right? You see him in there. The perfected man. I am him. You can't hide shit from me. I'm gonna find it. Until this, to who revealed? The son of perdition? What you say? Is he in there? Is he in there? You goddamn rapist, come up out of there. What you doing in it? Is he in there? But we're not trying to get, we're trying to get the imposter out. We're trying to get the imposter out. See him up in there? I'm not bullshitting. I'm not, they told me where the devil was at. Right? Waiting to devour the sun. You see that dragon? Identify him. That's the portal of life. It's all symbolism, but it's to teach a spiritual lesson. But you can see, when the wisest man in the world come, everybody else got to figure this shit out. I'm going to show you where to find it. I'm going to show you where to find it as I find it. Where is he? That's the uterus. The Baphomet is a uterus, remember? You can't make this shit up. This is real life. So now that we didn't reveal who the beast, where the beast was hiding at, it's the Pope. It's the papal bull. Remember? Osiris had to slay the bull. What did he have to slay him with? Right? He had to slay him with the arrow. I am the golden arrow in native culture. I'm from the silver bow. I'm showing y'all this. Look. You can't hide nothing from me. I'm going to find it every time. Now, this is for the PhD. So now, I still got to show you the one like unto the Son of Man. Now, if I'm the Son of Man, there got to be some similitude. Something got to be similar in physical appearance, and he got to have on a... So now this is leading me down the trail. At the end of this video, I got to be able to produce the sound of the A tone being correctly intonated, and it got to match all of the signs at the end of this presentation. I got to walk you from where Farrakhan said that when you hear the A tone, you will be at one. You're going to hear the right sound from the one God. Look, before you know who God is, you got to know who the devil is. They write it in Egypt, man know thyself. Right? Man know thyself. Look, I'm showing it to you. I'm showing it to you in real time. As I pull it up, I'm showing it to you. Now, let's go. I done tied all of the nations together. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Hold on. I don't want to go this route. Okay, look. Now this is on my bed. This is the, I didn't even realize this was the family crest. This is the blood ties. Now let me show you what it looked like for real. Over here. Now, I went over where everything was. except the backdrop. This is the two bears. This is my son and my daughter. This is Michaela, and this is Jeremy. This is my clan totem tribe. This is the direct positioning of the tattoos for the blood right here. But this is her. So now, remember, I have to show y'all Sophia, because wisdom, Ein Sof, is what I got to produce. Ein Sof. Now, look at here. This is Sophia. This is the wise woman. This is the wisdom that Solomon sought so dearly. This is the wise woman. Right here. The one that established the blood right. See, this is the blade. Look, this is showing you the connection to the gods and earths. This is showing you the connection. I went over all that already. These are things that I picked up in my travels impulsively. None of this was playing. Look, the young maiden. The young maiden. Now, my mother, Scotta, my Irish right, the redhead princess. I told y'all, my mama is the redhead princess, and y'all think I'm playing. And when she got older, her hair began to fade, it became gray. My mama hair began to gray as she got older. Right? She was the one. This is why you don't see a wine glass up here, because she is the Holy Grail. She is the one who carried the holy seed. This was Scotta. So now this is my mother right here. This is the Vice Lord. See, because you need the two women to confirm him. Needed the two women to confirm him. But out of the father's line, he had to be able to draw King Arthur's sword. My father's name is Arthur. Remember that. Right? But the struggle with the self, the bondages of the 7 chakras being bound by the curse that broke up the family. So then the chain broke on its own. On its own. Right? Accept that. But in the course of my journey, I had to acquire, because it say in there that I would get the key of life. Endure to the end, and I would receive the key of life. I put the whole family back together. Keep the game. Now, I had this takes me to Putin in Russia, because I had to conquer Thor. And this is my Norse connection for the Norse tribes. My Vikings, that the Moors were the navigators for, that concealed the secret. Jacques de Monnet, that died at the hands of the French, which tied me to Adolf Hitler, who had legitimate grievances against the French when he was attacked. But still, I had to be the black stone. The stone that the builder rejected has to be the chief cornerstone. So I collected that in Chicago. That's Jeff Ford gave me that. Let my people go. Right? I just showed y'all all of the rest of the stuff. Now I got to show you the man with the 7 candlesticks and the 7 stars in his hand, with the gown to his waist, and he's packed in gold, and he's like unto the Son of Man. And this would be this, because I'm in search of the A-tone. That's my clue. This was my clue where to find the A-tone. I had to find the A-tone to bring us all together. Right? The black ones and the white ones. The Hispanic ones and the Asian ones. The tall ones and the short ones. The fat ones and the skinny ones. The smart ones and the dumb ones. The healthy ones and the sick ones. The strong ones and the weak ones. I had to go through all this. I had to put it all on the line. Right? So this is your revelation of Jesus Christ. This is what God gave unto him to show and signify to his faithful servant, me. God wants us to restore family structure. This is what the science is telling me. I still got some receipts to do, because remember, as above, so below. I have to prove to y'all with the receipts of the day that I did everything I said I was going to do. I did everything according to the rules given to me across all disciplines, not just one. So now I have to write the receipt. Right? Now my day started out with a con artist attempting to con me. Okay? Which resulted in a receipt on what you call a 50-50 transfer. Right? Tupac took care of the 40-40 transfer. His seat is seat 40. Mine seat 50. Right? So now, that's Malachi Z. York. That's Malachi Z. York. He brought me the A-tone. And the A-tone is in this right here. This song, which this tape is non-functional at the moment because I don't have a working cassette player. But never fear. As a true general, there's always a way to win the battle. Thanks to my sisters out there, because y'all should stand up soldiers. Now, this right here is the final piece to the puzzle, because remember, Farrakhan said the one that came to y'all and sounded off the A tone is when all of us will finally have one person that will make everybody the same. No big I's, no little U's. This is what they talking about. This is what the struggle was all about. So it all got to be explained in the end. Right? God, once I got it there to the highest heights of wisdom and met God, God said make a family. God didn't say make a black family, a white family, a Hispanic family. God said make a family. I have to teach y'all how to build families and build them again, just like I had to build this family crest that I did not realize was a family crest until I realized it was a family crest, so to speak. And so there will be no breaking of the blood, right? My mama told me to leave that intact. So that ties all of us together. Putin, stand up, Moscow. Y'all can let them know now. It's all here. Now, I want to go back and point this out, because this is the 50-50 transfer for an Amazon gift card. Now you see the arrow that points up here to thought. Now these are my travels. You see. Now, me, I had to be Atum, right, who wrestled with Apep.